These are the times that NBA players had emotional breakdowns on the basketball court. We're going to be starting it all off by covering the time LeBron James elbowed Detroit Pistons center Isaiah Stewart when boxing out on a free throw. The elbow sent Stewart to another dimension as he was tearing through people to fight the king.
Now this is ridiculous.
Trying to get loose. He is knocking over. Look, here goes Stewart.
This next one didn't have Luka Doncic wanting to fight another player on the court, but instead it had him itching to wage a war with inanimate objects. Seriously, the guy was so upset that he bricked not one, but 2 free throws that he went ahead and did this to the jersey he was wearing.
You wonder if it's starting to get in his head at all, as he's missed 4 of his last 5, and those are big misses when you're trying to climb back into the...
Now, Jamal Murray didn't care about the jersey he was wearing, but he did care about the points he had in what was a 7-point victory against the Boston Celtics. With 48 on the night and the ball in his hands, the team was expected to dribble the clock out, but this dude wanted the 50 burger and he heaved up one more shot at the buzzer. Let me tell you, Boston wasn't happy about that one.
Not shooting for the 50. But, oh, he did shoot it.
Yes, he did.
And speaking of not being happy, Rudy Gobert wasn't too happy when the coach sat him down following 2 quick personal fouls. And man, Gobert was so mad with everyone around him that the dude wound up launching everything he could off the scorer's table with a long sweeping motion. I'm telling you, you don't see tantrums like that very often. Another emotional breakdown came when Robin Lopez saw himself get thrown onto a poster thanks to the youngster Jarrett Culver. Culver tossed it down all over Lopez before flexing on him afterwards, and that did not sit well with the veteran big man. The dude literally chased him across the court after that. Take a look.
And now a technical is going to be called, and Lopez...
Now, you should know by now that it's not just players who have emotional breakdowns on the court. Sometimes coaches just can't take it anymore either. Golden State Warriors coach Steve Kerr couldn't believe what he was hearing following yet another foul on his squad, and it was clear that he'd had just about enough right then and there.
They're going to take a look at that to see if it was a little extra contact on the hit of Collins.
And the same can be said about this ref. He didn't blow the whistle on a jump shot from Sean Livingston, and both he and teammate David West started to chirp at the official for the call. West eventually walked over and put his hands on the ref, who swiftly tossed him from the game. Now, the contact wasn't really that bad, but the ref was done messing around with the complaint. Also landing on our list today is Marcus Morris, which probably isn't entirely surprising. This was the time he randomly got frustrated with the defense that was being played on him, and he let his defender have it by literally slamming a basketball down on the dude's head in the middle of the possession. I don't even know if I've ever seen anything like that in the NBA in recent memory, especially when it was so unprovoked like that. And we didn't even mention yet that Morris threw a hard elbow first, and luckily that just barely missed.
He's looking at the elbow, and now watch him.
I don't know if I should laugh.
Now, this next clip comes from the bench. Well, close to it. The Los Angeles Lakers already knew that they lost this game against the Nuggets with under a minute left and they were down double digits. Nobody on that Lakers squad was happy, especially Rajon Rondo. But instead of just sitting with his teammates on the bench, Rondo was about 15 seats to the right of them, sitting in the middle of the fans next to the scorer's table. Now, I don't care how talented you are, that's probably not the way to win over your teammates in the locker room. And if you thought that was a bad way to try to win over your team, just wait until you see how Rudy Gobert reacted to some harsh criticism from his teammate Kyle Anderson. Gobert was so frustrated with being called out by Anderson that he took that freakishly long wingspan and threw a punch to the chest of Anderson from across their team's huddle. How bad do you have to be playing to assault a teammate who's just trying to amp you up in a game you gotta win? Now look, chances are, if you've ever played basketball ever in your life, you've probably felt like how Draymond Green felt on this upcoming possession. However, this is a professional and championship-level basketball player right here. He's a guy who shouldn't be whining about not receiving a pass, especially when he's not exactly known for his offense. And yet, this temper tantrum resulted in a brutal turnover for his team, and it certainly was not a good look for Green. Alright, sometimes emotions can even flare up in the first few minutes of the game. When Eric Bledsoe attempted to slow down Joel Embiid, the two sent a few shoves, and eventually Embiid tossed the ball at Bledsoe, who then fired it back at Embiid despite him being the one who initially pushed Embiid. It didn't take very long from that point on for teammates and officials from both sides to get involved and stop this scuffle before it got too out of hand. So if you thought that emotional breakdown was bad, just wait until you see this next one from LeBron James. Though I'm telling you guys, this one was absolutely warranted. The King was driving down the lane to get the game-winning layup against the Celtics with 2 seconds left. Now, he clearly gets fouled by Jason Tatum, something that isn't even up for debate. But much to the dismay of the Lakers team and LeBron, no foul was whistled and overtime was upon us. Now this was LeBron's reaction.
Lewis with the camera. I mean, just ridiculous.
Now, there are some guys in this league you simply don't see get angry very often. Nikola Jokic might complain here and there, but pure anger and resentment, it's not always noticeable. Until this playoff series against the Warriors when he was looking for a foul and didn't get it. Not only did he share some harsh words with the ref, but then he stormed over there to scream at him before getting tossed out of the game. And another guy who doesn't get mad very often is Kevin Durant, though his time with the Brooklyn Nets was probably very frustrating to say the least. Here, the Indiana Pacers turned it over and intentionally fouled Durant to stop the fast break, and it caused him to launch the ball at the backboard. The problem was, he missed the backboard, and that meant a technical foul. Check out how it all played out.
Big time block underneath. Durant is fouled by McConnell, and Durant just chucked the ball into the stands.
Alright guys, shockingly, this is actually the first clip in this video where the incident was instigated by Patrick Beverley. We all know how annoying that guy can be on the basketball court, which is why he really tested Draymond Green's patience on this one. He forced a charge, then clapped from under him before almost getting his head stomped on while lying on his back. Yeah, Draymond was just about to step on him, but thankfully he had enough self-control. But hey, that's the Beverley effect for you. And don't worry though, there's more Patrick Beverley where that came from. When Chris Paul delivers a dagger three-pointer to ice a game against the Clippers, he walked past Beverley while the two were heading to opposite benches. Now, I don't know what was said or done, but apparently it hit different for Patrick, who wound up going after Paul and doing this.
Seen this movie before. We have an issue on the court right now between both teams, but Chris Paul.
Beverly and Chris.
Now, there's no shoving another guy in the back on this next one, but it does involve somebody losing their mind. Trevor Ariza's stay with the Portland Trailblazers was short-lived, but it was not uneventful. Ariza couldn't control himself when he realized he didn't get a foul call when driving to the hoop, and he continued to lose his mind far after he received a technical foul.
Trevor Ariza lost composure.
On this next one, Steph Curry got a technical and was ejected after he lost his cool following an ill-advised shot from teammate Jordan Poole. The youngster Poole received a kickout with 13 seconds left on the shot clock, with there only being a minute left on the game clock. The Warriors had a 2-point lead, so they had to play for time, but instead of passing to Steph and waiting, he chucked up a wildly deep three. Steph did this afterwards.
Opportunity for Memphis. Whistle going the other way. What happened?
Now you might think that this next clip was already shown earlier in the video because it's remarkably similar to what happened between Lopez and Culver. Michael Porter slammed it down all over Zach Collins, and that resulted in the latter literally chasing him down the court so he could get in his face. Collins is surprisingly one of those dudes who fights any chance he gets, but he probably should have let this one just blow over. Now, it's almost an unwritten rule in basketball not to shoot when the game's already settled and there's not that much time left. At least not when there's an abundance of time left on the shot clock. But Jay Crowder broke that rule against the New York Knicks, and Elfrid Payton wanted to let him know to never do that again on their home floor. The reaction caused a scuffle, and it went like this.
Does that. So, that's one of those unwritten rules that players get upset with. And Crowder, have to be separated. Morris shoves somebody as well. Valanciunas.
Boy, is this next one a doozy. Chris Paul attempts a game-winning layup with 1 second left on the clock. The ball hits the rim and barely grazes off, landing right in the hands of DeAndre Jordan with 0.7 seconds left. Jordan heard the shot clock buzzer go off, so he just stood there holding it. When in reality, there was still a second left and the shot clock reset because it hit the rim. As he held it just waiting, Paul was losing his mind over his teammate not taking the ball back up and icing the game right then and there. Check out CP3 trying not to jump up there and strangle Jordan.
But tell me that it's the buzzer of the shot.
Steph was getting pretty unhappy with the officiating here against the Grizzlies, down by 8 points with 40 seconds left, and of course every point matters at that point. Curry thought he should have been given a 10-1, but he wasn't, and in return he decided to yell at the ref and launch his mouthpiece out in anger. I think you can guess how this was handled by the officials.
Oh, it's got to be a technical. He got to be thrown out.
Wow. And Curry has been thrown out of the game.
Alright, we're closing in on the end of this video, coming into some of the final clips now. We've got the time that DeMar DeRozan was frustrated over his Toronto Raptors being down 3-0 in a playoff series against the Cleveland Cavs. Unfortunately, that frustration was taken out on poor Jordan Clarkson during a fast break. And funny enough, the last clip also involves DeMar. Here, Denver drew an offensive foul on him during their playoff series in a game that was already a blowout, and DeRozan had enough. When he realized it was called on him, this guy threw the basketball hard in the direction of the ref, who blew the play dead. Guys, YouTube themselves picked the video that appears on your screen right now, so make sure to check it out.